I'm Ryan Lacey with A3. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. My name is Jonathan Clingan. I am the Director of Barron Advanced Manufacturing at DeKalb High School in Waterloo, Indiana.
What is that program like?
So we are a brand new program. We started a program 3 years ago at the high school, and we cover everything manufacturing. So there's a big need in our community for skilled labor, everything from maintenance technicians to electrical programmers, CNC machinists. So the school got together with our local community, and we basically decided to put this program together to basically kind of like bring the trades back into the school, except to the next level, right? We're focusing on all the advanced manufacturing technology and everything that the industry is really needing. So we're a 3-year program to where we learn everything from safety to quality, CNC machining, robotics, automation, and a lot of industrial electrical. We also have rotational internships that students do their junior year, and then senior year they get placed at a local facility for their senior year internship, with hope that they either get a full-time job offer after school or maybe continue on their education to go get their engineering degree or technician degree or an apprenticeship, whatever they choose to decide.
Could you talk a little bit about just the structure? How does that work in terms of the curriculum? If a kid's coming up into your high school, do they select it like as a program? What part of the schooling is it? I guess if you could get more specific.
So a lot of states are going this way where they have graduation requirements. So Indiana, a few years back, put these graduation requirements into where you had to meet certain criteria or go into what they call a pathway program. Okay. So our program meets one of those pathway requirements. So if they come in freshman, sophomore year, do their intro principles class, go through a couple elective classes and go into their concentrator A and B classes, they meet all the graduation requirements. So it kind of helps check the box for graduation for students that need that. Not all students need that pathway, but we also offer the curriculum and the content for students that just really enjoy this technology. I really sell this program on it's about the technology that's out there, because the technology we're using in industry is bleeding over into all different market shares. We're seeing robots in farming and agriculture. We're seeing robots in food service and industry. And it's only a matter of time before it touches every one of our lives.
Do you know about how many of these types of programs are? How fast are they going? How much are they popping up? Could you kind of elaborate a little on that?
They are popping up everywhere. We are actually a Purdue NMAC pathway system. So the manufacturing extension of Purdue actually gets industry and schools together and helps figure out how to make the program works for their local communities. And what's unique about our program and programs like that is we design it around our local industry. If you go look at every one of our pathway programs, they're unique and individual to their area. My program doesn't look like Angola's program. It doesn't look like Wawasi's program. They're all specific to that local manufacturing sector.
How does a kid who's in ninth grade kind of decide, like, I'm going to do this pathway program? Because I would imagine that's relatively foreign, like to a traditional curriculum. How does that, I just love to know more about that.
And as a parent, it's scary to me as well to basically think that my child has to decide what he wants to do in life at that young age, right? So we spend a lot of time during back to school nights, and we're actually reaching out to the middle school and elementary and really just starting to show and expose kids what's available to them, right? The first step is getting the exposure out there, right? So we're actually even branching down into the middle school and elementary level to where what we call fill the funnel earlier, right? So they can learn the basics and fundamentals in a age appropriate task at their skill level. And then that will basically free up high school to focus on more advanced stuff, frees up community college and traditional universities to focus on this new advanced technology that you're seeing here at Automate.
So you mentioned there's the pathway, but kids can still enroll in some of the classes and keep their traditional curriculum, or there's a just pathway only?
No, so at our high school program, it is actually high school classes in our high school. We are not a career center. We are actually just attached to the high school. And so when they sign up for classes, they get to sign up. They still have to take their basic core classes, their English, math, science. And we really focus on, hey, make sure you're doing good in math, because if you're struggling on some of that math, you're going to struggle in some of this technology class, right? But again, that's why I sell it as technology, programming and coding classes. We love that. But kids get to choose what they want to do. And we have business pathways. We have engineering pathways. We have our manufacturing pathways. And we have students taking multiples. I have the same student taking the engineering classes, taking the manufacturing classes, because they bleed over so much, and he's going to be set right after high school to go get his engineering degree and really be a productive member of the workforce.
Could you like vaguely like enrollment of your high school and the number of kids in your, your program, and then on top of that, logistically, what's that like kind of having a physical space where I would imagine you need a tremendous amount of equipment?
Right. So we're not a small school, but we're not a big school either, right? I'm thinking, I'm not in the administration, so I think we graduate roughly about 250 to 300 students a year, to put it in perspective.
And how many do you have in yours?
And out of the classroom, we're targeting between 10 and 20% of that population going through the pathway programs. Are we there yet? No, we're only third year. So this was our first year graduating class, and we've currently, next year numbers, I think we have 25 first years coming in. So we're getting there.
Wow.
We have been very blessed with the support from our local communities, our administration, and a bunch of local foundations that have basically donated time, money, and equipment to our program.
And you said you guys are part of Purdue. Do they help kind of facilitate a lot of that, or?
So Purdue NMAC was really the driving factor to really get industry in the school talking the same language. Because us in industry, we talk one language, education is another one. It's really hard to get people to bridge that gap. So Purdue NMAC, they basically get these people together and they figure out what makes sense and helps drives and starts programs like these. And these are popping up all over the place.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got here?
So I am a 25-year industry expert. I started in the semiconductor industry, did tier 1 automotive for a while, and then I was a integrator for a while. I was doing all the electrical controls. And then it was just that point in my career where all the stars just seemed to line up. My local high school was starting up a manufacturing, and we were at a manufacturing program. We were at a point in my life where we could make that transition from industry to education. And the reason I really pushed and wanted to do this, I've always had a passion for training and education. When I was a controls manager, I could never find qualified technicians, engineers, you name it. And I gave up on looking for experienced people. I would just go to the colleges and hire good people that I would train up. So it was just a natural fit that when everything lined up, I go start up the program and I get to start it up from scratch, design and build our own equipment that's in the classroom, design and develop our own curriculum. You come into our classroom, you will not see any cookie cutter programs that are out there.
How rewarding is it not even just in terms of building the program itself, but just kind of seeing the first group of kids go through it?
That's a really tough question. I always get choked up on that a little bit because it's amazing how much you get attached and build relationships with these kids. And to see my first graduating class this past year, and then 4 of them getting full-time job offers. We had a big signing event for them. I mean, it's just amazing. And especially when I talk to kids doing videos, kind of like what you're doing here for our promotional video, I asked a kid point blank, do you think you would have graduated high school had it not been for this program? And he sat back and thought about it. And he's like, you know what? I don't think I would have. And then so it's you have the students that excel in school and have no problem graduating, but then you have these students that you can actually reach out and touch and make a difference in their lives and hopefully bring them up out of poverty or whatever their socioeconomic background is into a high-paying career that should suit them for the rest of their life.
Yeah, you kind of answered it there, but how much room is there for that sort of, being able to reach more kids and put them in more places to be successful? That's
the big struggle. We're trying to reach as many kids as we can, and there's a discrepancy between the demographics of the students coming through the program. We're partnering with our middle school now, trying to figure out how we can get the young females, which are very talented, very detail-oriented, excel really well in science, technology, engineering, math, and then somewhere we lose them between middle school and high school. So we're working closely with our middle school to try and figure out how we can keep those young people engaged through the high school level, because some of the best engineers I've had in my industrial career were actually female engineers. So we got a really good following on LinkedIn, and Fanuc America saw us and invited us to come to Automate and basically help just bring Chuck and show what high school programs are capable of doing. So that's how we ended up here. And the kids, as soon as I got that invite, I'm like, absolutely, I want to give these kids an experience of a lifetime.
Right. Yeah, how amazing is it for them to be at Automate show and just to, at some point see all this incredible technology?
for the last couple months, I've been trying to explain what Automate is, and I cannot undersell this thing, right? I mean, it's just hard when they walk in and they just walk by Sunday when we came in to set up the booth and everything, and they're just looking around. There's like, you just see the awe in their face. And we're doing a lot of great things at our high school. Our local community facilities are doing great things. But when they come in here, they're just amazed. Every night they go home, they're like, did you see this? Did you see that? Oh, you need to go check that out tomorrow.
Where is this going in terms of education and, these kind of programs? Are they, are they going to continue to pop up? How far is this going to go? Is this really going to reshape kind of K-12 ed, or like what do you what's your take on it as where we stand right now?
So that's the goal, is to really fundamentally change the way we're doing education. Right now, there's a lot of political momentum behind it. States are behind it. A lot of the manufacturing organizations are behind it. So money is getting pumped into schools. A lot of the donors are pumping money into it. So they're popping up all over the place. The goal, or my goal, is hopefully sooner or later that political climate's going to change, but our education climate shouldn't. We should be pushing this stuff down further and further into the school system to start preparing these kids, not forcing them to choose a path in first or second grade, but just expose them to what's out there so they understand exactly what my opportunities are. Because in Waterloo, Indiana, we're a very rural farm community, right? Go 20 minutes south of us, we have some pretty good heavy industry, right? So just exposing them to what's out there, coming to Automate and actually having the students see. I think a couple of them have been offered, hey, come over and interview for my company. We're looking for people, right? So if they want to pick up and leave and go start their career somewhere else, I mean, that's the goal, right? Is fundamentally get people prepared for a career to do whatever they want to do.